Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Ultrasonic Film. As always, I'm your host, James, talking about movies, and more movies. I have two very special guests on the show right now. Darrell Dennis, the writer-director of Sweet Summer Pow Wow, and the actress, Tatyana Rose Baptiste. Welcome to Ultrasonic Film.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
It's
having us.
it's great to have you both here. Okay, so first up, this is the question. I got to throw it here to you, Darrell. I see very, very few romantic dramas in theaters now. Romantic dramas, romantic comedies seem to be very, very rare. So it's so refreshing to see one. Is that something that you noticed as well? And we're really hoping to add to the genre?
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the romantic comedy, the romantic genre. And one thing that, especially as an Indigenous filmmaker, we never ever get to see is the romantic comedy genre. A lot of our movies, the ones that usually get funded, the ones that usually, the ones that get made usually revolve around trauma or historical pieces, So one thing you never really ever get to see is a contemporary film with Indigenous people just being in love, just being, having contemporary problems, and just, young people just having young people problems and that sort of thing. And so I just really I've always wanted to see the kind of those sort of like Notting Hill sort of films, like the John Hughes films of the 80s, of young teens. I love those films growing up. I'm kind of dating myself there, but those are the sort of films I always sort of liked. So yeah, I always wanted to, I like seeing Indigenous people in contemporary mainstream films, that sort of genre. And so I wanted to make one myself because we never ever get a chance to see that. So that's where Sweet Summer Powwow came.
Well, I got to certainly agree with you on your taste of films for John Hughes, Notting Hill. A lot of those I really enjoy as well. So great to hear. Tatiana, when did you first get contacted about this film? You give such a sweet, lovely performance in this film. And I'm kind of curious, when did you first get contacted about it?
Yeah, it was around like the spring of 2023, right, Daryl? When we
That's
started
right.
doing the auditioning process. I got it in my inbox. I was really, really excited for it. I loved the sides. I had to send in to audition contrasting scenes and then also from the script and then also a dance video, which was a little bit intimidating for me just because my prior experience was more so gymnastics based than dance. But I sent it in and then we did the callback and yeah, and then I was casted. And it was just like so exciting because not only was I based in Toronto and then we had to go back to BC to film. I'm from BC originally, so it was just beautiful to be like home and also filming something that was so special and I could see how special it was.
See, that kind of surprises me because I would have assumed, having seen the film, that you're a natural dancer. So you pulled it off very, very well there.
Thank you. I had a lot of help. Katya, the co-writer, she was a dancer growing up, so on set she was helping me a lot. In between takes, we had rehearsals before. Yeah, no, it was a great task to take on, and I'm happy that you think I did a good job. So thank you.
Working with Darrell as a director, did he allow you a little bit of improvisation, bringing something to the character? I'm kind of curious what your back and forth were with him like that. Were you able to bring some ideas to the character as well from yourself?
For sure. Daryl was amazing as a director. We had a perfect parameter or how he laid it out in the script, his vision. And then when we got on set, I felt like it was very, especially with Joshua as well, it was very just let's see what resonates, let's see what works, and living in the moment. It was great to have a director where I could turn to and be like, what did you think? What do you think I should do? Like, and he would come back with different notes and it that just helps me strengthen through every take, what to change, what to do, and how to go deeper into the character. So I did feel a great sense of accomplishment after we would finish takes, because also we would only get around a couple takes, you know. There was times where, you know, we are on a time limit, so we can't just spend so much time on one scene. But yeah, so through every take, it just got stronger and stronger, I felt like. So yeah.
And
Awesome.
I
That's
gotta
really
say, yeah, she's absolutely right. I mean, it was a very low budget film, so time was of the essence. And you know, as a director, I would say like 75% of your job is casting the right people. And Tatyana was such a huge talent, and her and Joshua, their relationship, you know, right off the beginning, their chemistry was so great. So it was like the majority of my job was already done with such talented actors. So it was fantastic.
Speaking of huge talent, you've got legendary actor Graham Greene in the film. Were you able to get him fairly easily into the production? He has a very funny role as sort of an MC of the powwow there.
Yeah, so Graham and I have a bit of a history going back a number of years. I had this one man show called Tales of an Urban Indian, which was turned into a TV pilot. It was a number of years ago, and we were able to get Graham to come in and do a cameo. He was going to be, if the show had gone, if the TV series had gone, then Graham would be this recurring character, a ghost character, a very funny ghost character that would show up for my character. He would always be bugging me. He lived in my apartment. It was a kooky sort of, you know, weird comedy sort of TV series sitcom. Fortunately, the series didn't go, but you know, Graham and I had a really good relationship for that. So a couple years ago, my very first feature film, I directed and wrote, called The Great Salish Heist. There was a part in there for a chief, and I went, let's you know, we were started talking about, we needed somebody, you know, to play this chief. And I said, you know, I really got along with Graham, so I sent him the script, you know, seeing, you know, if he'd be interested. We remembered our relationship, and he read the script and he loved it, because it was again, it was like the very first Indigenous heist film. Like I said, I like doing mainstream, you know, films. And he was like, he loved the script. He thought it was the sort of role he never gets to do. So he was like, I'll do it. And since working on that, you know, we really got along really well. He really, you know, he trusted me with that. So he said after that, you know, anything you want me to do, I'm there for it, which I thought was a huge coup. And I have to say, and I was talking to Katya, the co-writer of this, you know, after that, I said, you know, when I was growing up, you know, Dances with Wolves came out, and he was this big deal, he was Oscar nominated. And you know, I was like, everybody, you know, was looking up to Graham Greene, and he was the big thing. And then, you know, years later, now I'm directing, and Graham Greene is saying, anything you want me to be in, I'll be there. And it's like weird how life works out, you know. So it's like, it was really sort of, I had to step back and think about that. It's like, wow, that's crazy how life works sometimes, you know.
Tatyana, the film has won the Audience Feature Award at the Victoria Film Festival. It leads me to think, have you seen the film with an audience yet? Have you seen it with friends and family? And what has their reaction been to the film and your performance?
Yes, I saw it twice. First was at the film festival. Which one was it, Daryl?
That was the Oakville Film Festival, and you were
Oakville.
scared to death.
Yes, I was so scared because it was my first time seeing it, mine too. And I was with an audience. Perfect audience to be with on the first time I watched it. Everyone was very vocal, very into it. Lots of great feedback after. And then I traveled to Fort McMurray, where I grew up, and I did our own screening at the Cineplex there, and that was even more, I would say, scary, because it was filled with people that I knew and loved, friends and family, and just people from the community. And it was also really well received. So yeah, it's fun to be in the theater because it just energizes you, and to see what people laugh at or to see what people gasp at is like, it's like filming it all over again. It's like watching it for the very first time. It never gets old. So yeah.
I want to thank you both very, very much for joining me here on Ultrasonic Film. Darrell Dennis, the writer-director, and Tatyana Rose Baptiste of Sweet Summer Pow Wow. And I wish you guys the best of luck with it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.